Good morning student. This is our lecture number 12. Myself Madhuri Mui, working as assistant professor in Department of Electronics and Telecommunication, Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering. So our subject Introduction to Mains. We have seen first chapter, that is Introduction to Mains. So now we are going to see the chapter number 2, that is Controls and Materials of Mains. So before to starting that chapter number 2, we are summarizing the chapter number 1, that is Introduction to Mains. So in that chapter we have seen what is meant by MEMS, then history of MEMS, then scale law for that the MEMS, as well as the application design of the MEMS, fabrication methods for the MEMS, and MEMS transducers and sensors. Now we are going to see the control and materials of MEMS. So we are starting with the materials of MEMS. So substrate and wafers. Okay, so we are going to see what is meant by substrate and wafers. So substrate, so that is in microelectronics, substrate is a flat microscopic object. Okay, so what is mean by substrate? So previously also we have seen in lots of semiconductor devices there is a substrate. Then what is that substrate, or that the what type of that the layer we can say as a substrate? So let us see. So what is that substrate? So in microelectronics, substrate is a flat microscopic object on which microfabrication process take place. Okay, so substrate is nothing but the flat microscopic object that we can say as the base of that the any structure. So flat microscopic object, okay, on which microfabrication process take place, that object is known as the substrate. So in microsystems, a substrate serves an additional purpose. So substrate serves an additional purpose means what? Act as a signal transducer besides supporting other transducers. Okay, so it will act as a signal transducer besides supporting other transducers. So what is that? What is mean by transducer? So transducer is nothing but the convert mechanical actions to electrical outputs and vice versa. Okay, so substrate acts as the supporting transducer for other transducers. Then in MEMS, common substrate materials, these are silicon, germanium, gallium arsenide. So all fall in the category of semiconductors. Okay, so all the semiconductors are nothing but the substrate materials. So silicon, germanium, gallium and arsenide. Okay, so what is mean by substrate? Substrate is the flat microscopic object on which microfabrication process take place, and it acts as a signal transducer besides supporting other transducers. Okay, so transducer is convert that mechanical action to the electrical output or vice versa. So the whatever that the common semiconductor materials that we can use as a substrate, for example silicon, germanium, gallium arsenide. Then let us see the difference between substrate and wafers. And before that, we have to know why the substrate is used to that substrate flat object, why it is used on which the fabrication of the MEMS takes place. So they are at the borderline between conductors and insulators. Okay, so why they are used? They borderline between conductors and insulators. So what is conductor? So conductor means that the it allows the flow of that the electrons, or we can say that the flow of that the electrons from valence band to the conduction band. And what is mean by insulator? So insulator is nothing but that it will not allow any flow of the current conduction from that the material. So there is no any electrons pass from valence band to the conduction band. Such a material is known as the insulator. So between that conductors and insulator, borderline is used as a substrate. So they can be made either a conductor or an insulator as needed. Okay. So that substrate may be conductor or may be insulator depending upon the requirement they are used. Then that substrate can be converted to a conducting material by doping P or N type. So we already seen that the semiconductor is such a device, material which is used to form that the electronics devices. So there are again two types in the semiconductors: intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor. So intrinsic semiconductor means what? Which is in a purest form, and extrinsic semiconductor means which is in a impurity form. So impurity according to that the which type of the carriers we are going to increase, according to that doping concentration is added. So either it is a trivalent or either it is a pentavalent. The material is again categorized as the P type and N type. Okay. So the fabrication process, for example, etching. So fabrication processes and the required equipment have already been developed for these materials. Okay. So means whatever that the fabrication process are required to form that material which are already existing because lots of electronics devices or that the integrated circuits are based upon that the semiconductor materials. So that's why the fabrication process and the required equipment have already been developed for these materials. Okay, so that's why the substrate. Then let us see what is that the wafers. So in semiconductors, the substrate is a single crystal cut. Okay, and in a slices form. So if you see for the semiconductor, substrate is nothing but the crystalline structure. So it is crystal cut in slices. So from a larger piece called a wafers. Okay, so from the larger piece of the wafers, the substrate single substrate crystal is formed. That is nothing but the in the form of slice. So what is the difference between substrate and wafers? Wafer is nothing but the large piece of ore, and substrate is a single crystal cut in slices. So which can be of silicon or other single crystalline materials such as quartz or gallium arsenide. So silicon, that is other single crystalline materials also used as a quartz or gallium arsenide. So wafers can be manufactured by using highly pure, that is 99.999% purity. Okay, wafers are made up of from that the highly pure material. So nearly defect-free single crystal material is known as the wafers. Okay, and substrate is a single crystal cut in slices which is formed by large piece of all wafer. So the material, wafer material is classified as follows. It is insulators, that is electric resistive, semiconductors and conductors. Okay, so for the in insulator, so electric resistivity which is greater than 10 raised to 8 ohm per centimeter, ohm centimeter. For the semiconductors, it is 10 raised to minus 3 to 10 raised to 8, between that. So it is ohm centimeter. and for the conductor which is less than, resistivity of that material is less than 10 raised to minus 3 ohm centimeter. So in a microsystem there are again two types of substrate materials. So previously we have seen there are two materials are used, substrate and wafers. So substrate is a single crystal cut in slice from a larger piece of called a wafers. Then these substrate materials are again classified into active substrate material and passive substrate material. Just like our components, active components and passive components, substrate material is also for the microsystem is categorized into active substrate material and passive substrate material. Then let us see under that vapors active substrate materials. So active substrate materials are primarily used for sensors and actuators in microsystems. Okay, so active means substrate having the two types of the material for the microsystem. One is the active, another is the passive. So from that, active substrate materials are primarily used for sensors and actuators. So what is sensor and actuators? We have already seen in a first chapter. Okay. So let us see the typical materials which are used as a active substrate. So it is silicon, gallium arsenide, germanium and quartz. So all except quartz are classified as the semiconductors. So they have a cubic crystal lattice with tetrahedral atomic bond. Okay, so these all are a cubic crystal lattice with tetrahedral atomic bond. So why the active substrate material used? So let us see the reasons for using that the active substrate materials in microsystem. So the dimensional stability. So these materials provide the dimensional stability. Again, intensity. Insensitive to environmental conditions. Then next, a critical requirement for sensors and actuators with high precision. So these are the main advantages of this active substrate material. And then next, each atom carries 4 electrons in the outer orbit and shares these 4 electrons with its neighbors. Okay, so that's why these active substrate materials are used on primarily basis for in a sensor and actuators in a microsystem. Okay, so vapor, substrate vapors, and again that the in substrate material two materials, passive and active. So in active substrate material, silicon, germanium arsenide, germanium and quartz are used. And why the active substrate material is used? Because it gives the dimensionally stability, insensitive to the environment, high precision, and each atom carries 4 electrons in the outer orbit and shares these 4 electrons with its neighbors. Okay, so understood this active substrate material. Then let's see that the active material one by one. So silicon is the most important one because all the electronics devices are based on that the silicon. So the most common substrate material for micro machining is the silicon. For electronic devices are also silicon, integrated circuits also silicon, and for the micro machining also the substrate material is the silicon. So it has been successful in the microelectronics industry and will continue to be in areas of miniaturization for several reasons. Okay, so silicon is the most common substrate material used in industry with the continuation. That's why the areas of the miniaturization also the silicon is used, and there are several reasons. So let us see which are the several reasons that silicon is most popular in meat generation also. So first is silicon is abundant, inexpensive. So means it is easily available and it is the low cost raw material and can be processed to unparalleled purity. Then silicon's ability to be deposited in thin films is very amenable to MEMS. Okay, so silicon's ability to be deposited in thin films is very amenable to MEMS. Okay, so that's why means it's having that the ability of the deposition in thin films. So that's why it is also very important. Then high definition and reproduction of silicon device shapes using photolithography are the perfect for high levels of MEMS precision. So already in the first chapter we have seen the photolithography, which is nothing but the formation of that the pattern on that the mask and then that mask is on that the layer whatever the structure we want. Okay, so high definition and reproduction. Reproduction means what? If the material somehow gets damaged or any other thing happens, then we can reproduce that again using the raw materials. So the high definition and reproduction of silicon device shapes using photolithography are perfect for high levels of MEMS precision. Then silicon microelectronic circuits are batch fabrications. Okay, so a silicon wafer contains hundreds of identical chips, not just one. Okay, so that's why the silicon is the most important material or the substrate which are used in the MEMS or the microfabrication process. Then other crystalline semiconductor included means just like the silicon, other that they including germanium and gallium arsenide, that is GaAs, are used as substrate materials. So due to similar inherent features like the silicon. But silicon is distinguished from other semiconductors in that it can be readily oxidized to form a chemical inert and electrically insulating surface layer of SiO2 on exposure to steam. So how that the silicon is better than the germanium and arsenide? Because silicon is distinguished from other semiconductors in that it can be readily oxidized to form a chemical inert and electrically insulating surface layer of SiO2, that is we can say oxide layer on exposure to steam. So that's why silicon is very better than the germanium and gallium. No doubt there is a crystalline semiconductor substrate made up of from the germanium and gallium arsenide is also used, but the silicon is having the that the efficiently work with that the microsystem. Then the homogeneous crystal structure of silicon gives it the electrical properties needed in microelectronic circuit. Okay, so homogeneous crystal structure of silicon gives means we know that the we can form that the substrate in a single crystal. So that single crystal we can say homogeneous crystal structure, which is again better in electrical properties needed in microelectronic circuits. But in this form, silicon also has desirable mechanical properties. So silicon having both the properties, electrical as well as the mechanical. So that means specifically that only the functioning of that the silicon is used to form the either electronics function or the mechanical function or the property. So silicon forms the same type of the crystal structure as diamond, and although the interatomic bonds are much weaker, so it is harder than the most metals. Okay, so silicon having electrical property as well as the mechanical property, as well as it's the harder than the metals, as well as it is the weaker in somehow. Okay, so that's why the silicon is important one. Then in addition, it is surprisingly resistance to mechanical stress, having a higher elastic limit than steel in both tension and compression. So single crystal silicon also remains strong under repeated cycle of tension and compression. Okay, so means silicon also resistant to mechanical stress, having higher elastic limit than steel in both tension and compression. So that's why single crystal silicon also remains strong under repeated cycles of tension and compression. Okay, so thank you. So in this session, in a lecture number 12, we have started the chapter number 2, and we have seen the substrate and wafers, as well as that the active substrate material, and from that silicon we have seen. Thank you.